Fear the Walking Dead is a show that I watched the first 2 seasons of, and I just really could never find, an attachment to it. I kept expecting something to hook me. I kept expecting some character to attach myself to, something. And it just never happened. It wasn't a show I hated. It was just a show I watched. And after about 2 seasons, I was like, honestly, I feel like the only reason I'm watching this show is because it's horror and because it's connected to The Walking Dead, which, I really enjoy. And so I gave up on it and I pulled the plug at the end of season 2. A couple years pass and I heard from some people, season 4 is like almost a complete reboot. It's totally different. You should check it out. It's really cool. Morgan from The Walking Dead comes into it. It's like a completely different show. And I was like, okay. And I will put it off. And recently I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. Season 5 is coming up soon. I want to be prepared for it. If I'm gonna get into this, I might as well, check out these seasons. So of course I'm not going to skip season 3. That's just not my style. I'd done 1 and 2, so I was like, all right, I'll start with 3. So I watched all of 3, and it's funny because, as I said, I cut it off right on season 2. Never went to episode 1 of season 3. Just cut it off right there. And what a huge mistake I made. I don't know if it was the break from it or what it was. I would be almost curious to go back and watch season 1 and 2 now to see, now having loved season 3, like loved it. I would put that season in the top 3 or so seasons of the Walking Dead franchise. I thought this season was fucking great. I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the storylines. I loved it all. Every episode, I was so engaged. I was so invested. I was so there. I don't know what it was. As I said, it would be interesting now, having grown a new respect for all these characters from before. Going back and watching them now from the beginning, maybe I would have that attachment to them now, having the attachment I have to them in the 3rd season. Or maybe I'd go back and be like, yeah, I don't like them here. They did them better in this season. Maybe the actors got a better idea of who they were in that season and they brought it, or the writers got, better, or they got new ones, or I don't know what it was. But I was hooked from moment 1 to moment's end. I loved every single episode and was really blown away because I just almost didn't care for season 1 or 2. I wouldn't say at all. As I said, I didn't hate it. It was just kind of like, all right, next episode, I guess. Okay, like that one's over. I guess I'll go on to the next one. This one, it was like every time I was sneaking upstairs to watch it while my kids were watching TV. I was figuring out any way I could get to a next episode, sneak in 5 minutes here while the kids or somebody was going to the bathroom. Ridiculous, right? And that's how I was playing it out. And man, I knocked it out in like 3 or 4 days, 16 episodes. And I've already watched 5 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead season 4. And that's a dramatic change. People are definitely right. That is much different. It feels like almost a soft reboot. There are reoccurring characters from this season, but it's like they almost ditched everything that was happening in season 3 and just moved on to something new, because I don't know. I thought season 3 was fantastic, but maybe the ratings were down and people weren't digging it and whatnot. It's a bummer because I really enjoyed some characters that are now missing from season 4. I am enjoying season 4, and I'll talk about it when I finish that. But I guess the reason I'm saying this is because if for some reason you did give up after a season or 2, I think the 3rd season is absolutely worth your time if you're a Walking Dead fan. I thought this is some of the better Walking Dead out there, and it got me excited again. It got me excited for the new show. They have a 3rd spin-off, or well, a second spin-off series, a third Walking Dead show coming. I liked the plot synopsis of that. Some like two teenage girls who were raised in the zombie apocalypse and have known nothing else but that ever. It's a really cool dynamic. I like that idea of, we don't see that very often. People who are raised in the zombie apocalypse and it's the only world they've ever known. Especially like kids, and it being centrally focused on those kids. I love that concept, so I look forward to that show absolutely, and then the Rick movies whenever those take place as well. So I'm like all back in Walking Dead, especially since I love season 9. I didn't like season 8 of Walking Dead, but I did love season 9, love season 3 of this show. Really enjoying season 4, even though, as I said, it's pretty damn different. But yeah, they go to this, like, there's disputes over Native American land, and this compound with this group of people who were like survivalists and bigots and whatnot, and the tension between the two rivals there, and the family we know kind of is trying to figure out what side they're fighting for, or what side that they agree with, and they kind of infiltrate. And the way that everything plays out, and all the tension and all the shit that's created in that, it's fucking great, man. I was really surprised by this season, and I just wanted to give it some love, get some praise, and maybe if for some reason some of you gave up, and maybe you'll check it out again. I want people to get more eyes on this, because this is a great season that deserved some more attention, and I'm not sure it got it, because going on IMDb and stuff, the episodes all have like 7s, mid to low 7 ratings and stuff, and I just don't see that. I thought it was such a great season that I'm kind of bummed out that they obviously kind of scrapped where they were heading with it and just kind of moved on and did a crossover to try to cross-draw attention over from Walking Dead, even though I would imagine that's where they kind of gathered all their previous fans from. I would be surprised if there's people who are like, oh, I've never seen Walking Dead, but I watched Fear the Walking Dead. I started with that one. I've never seen Walking Dead. I have to imagine those numbers are very, very low. But bringing Morgan over does seem like a tactic to try to get more fans and more people interested in the show. But after season 3, I feel like they should have been strong enough. But even if a show's strong enough, it doesn't matter how good your show is. If people aren't watching it, you got to change shit up or the show dies. But yeah, anyways, I'm done rambling about it. I was only expecting to talk about this for a few minutes, but I loved it. So let me know. Did you guys watch it? Are you guys fans of this show? Or you think I'm crazy? You think this season's just as shitty as the others? Or did you love season 1 and 2 as well? Or did you only like 1 and 2 and 3 was the fall off point for you? Or whatever, let me know. But I highly recommend season 3. Definitely check out season 1 and 2. All 4 seasons are currently streaming on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can check out this show in its entirety. Season 5 doesn't start till like June, I think. So you got a little while. Yeah, I wouldn't skip it though. I wouldn't skip anything. You kind of got to know these people. But I came back to season 3 after having not watched season 2 for a couple years. And I didn't feel lost at all, but I do remember a decent amount of what happened in the past and do remember characters, so that's probably why. Anyway, guys, all right, adios.